All right, here's the review for the systems of equations. And the first thing we're going to do is put the steps for solving by substitution in order. And so for this one right here, let's read through them. We got put the two numbers together in an ordered pair and check the answer. So checking the answer, that's going to be the last thing we're going to do. I'll put that at step 4. Substitute for the variable in one equation, solve for the other. Solve one of the equations for a variable and use the answer for the first variable to substitute and solve for the second. So this is going to be the first thing we're going to do is C. And then after we solve for one of the variables, we're then going to substitute it into the other equation, which that's going to be B. And we're going to substitute for the variable in one equation, solve for the other, and then we're going to use that answer for the first variable to substitute and solve for the second. Wait. And then we'll put the two numbers together to check it. And so that's the order right there. Number 2, put the steps for solving by elimination in order. Add the two equations together, solve for the remaining variable. Not yet. Create coefficients for one variable that are the same size but opposite sign. That could be first. Put the two numbers together in an ordered pair and check answer. So again, check answer, that's going to be last. Make sure both equations are in standard form. That's going to be first. We've got to make sure they're both in standard form. Standard form just means like the x plus y equals the number. And then use the answer for the first variable to substitute and solve for the second. All right, so first we're gonna make sure they're in standard form. We don't know the first answer yet. Create coefficients, so we're gonna have to do this second. We want the coefficients to have the same number but opposite signs. So we're gonna have like 2x and negative 2x plus y plus 3y equals a number, whatever it may be. But we wanna get the letters to have the same number but opposite signs. Then we'll add the two equations together, so that's 3, which leaves E is gonna be my next one. We'll use the answer for the first variable to substitute and solve for the second. All right. Number 3, it says we have the graph compares the monthly price in dollars charged for cell phone use by the two different companies. Access Cell Phone is this graph right here. Charged initially $29.95 and then 14 cents per minute. And then Clearly Cell Phones initially charges $4.95, but then charges 39 cents per minute. The comparison of the monthly cost for the two companies is shown below. So as you can see, here's where it intersects, right here at about 100. And this is somewhere around maybe 44, something like that. And so down here, it's cheaper to go with Clearly Cell Phones. And so this one's cheaper. But then at this point, this one becomes more expensive and Access now becomes cheaper. So that's what we learned from the graph. Now let's read the choices down here and see what's true. No matter how many minutes of cell phone usage per month, Clearly Cell Phones charges less than Access Cell Phones. So here's Clearly. Clearly does start off cheaper, but is it cheaper for every minute? Nope. After 100 minutes, it gets more expensive, so it can't be A. After about 45 minutes, so 45 minutes maybe somewhere around this area. After about 45 minutes of cell phone usage per month, Clearly Cell Phones is more expensive than Access. Nope, Clearly is still cheaper right there, so that's not true. For monthly cell phone usage of less than 100 minutes, Clearly Cell Phones is cheaper than Access. So fewer than 100, yep, that looks to be right. And no matter how many minutes of cell phone usage per month, Clearly Cell Phone charges more than Access. No, Clearly starts off cheaper and it gets more expensive. What is the point of intersection? So the point of intersection is somewhere around 100 and 44. And what does it represent? It means at 100 minutes of cell usage, both companies charge the same price of around $44. And so that's what that point of intersection represents. That's the part where both companies charge the same amount. All right, number 4. The dance team bought chips and pretzels to put in the teacher workroom for Teacher Appreciation Day. They bought 5 bags of chips and 9 bags of pretzels for $14.95. That's this first equation right here. Later, they had to buy 10 more bags of chips and 7 bags of pretzels for $23.50. That's that second equation right here. 10 bags of chips and 7 bags of pretzels. So X is my chips, Y is my pretzels. If each bag of chips was the same price and each bag of pretzels was the same price, then the situation can be represented by the system below. Find the cost of 3 bags of pretzels. So ultimately, that's what I need to end with. I need to find the cost of pretzels and chips, and then ultimately, I want to know how much does it cost for 3 bags of pretzels. So I'll go ahead and make a note of that down here at the bottom so I don't forget. 3y equals blank. That's what I want to know. All right. So to solve this one, since there's no single variables, no ones, the easiest thing to do is to solve by elimination. So I need 5 and 10 would both go up to 10. 9 and 7 would go up to 63. It's going to be a lot easier to do this one. And so I'm going to make the x's, I'll cross out the 1 and 2, I don't need that. I want the x's to go up to 10. This one's already 10. So I need this to go to negative 10. So we're going to multiply this top equation by negative 2. So as we come, I'll come up here. Negative 10x minus 18y is equal to, I'll plug it in the calculator, 14.95 times negative 2 is negative 29.9. And then we have the 10x plus 7y is equal to 23.5. So the x's are eliminated. And so that becomes negative 11y is equal to, and we got the negative 29.90 plus 2350 is negative 6.4. And we'll divide by negative 11. To get 0.58. All right, and so that's the bag of pretzels. That's what we wanted. And so then to find 3 bags of pretzels, we'll just multiply that by 3. And so we'll multiply the 0.58 times 3 to get about 1.74. And so that's how much it would cost for the 3 bags of pretzels. Number 5. Kate needs repairs on her car, with X being the number of hours her car is worked on and Y the total cost. Her quotes are summarized in 2 equations. So this one already has Y solved for, and so we're just going to go ahead and go into the calculator. And so I'm going to go into the calculator, and so Y equals 65 plus 40X, and Y equals 35 plus 50X. But here's the thing, if I graph it, I can't see it. I can see a little bit. But we're going to go ahead and change the window a little bit. And so for this window, I don't care about Y values. My lowest value I'm going to have is 0. And then I don't know how far I need to go on the X. I'll just go to 50. I think this one, though, it intersects the Y at 65. So I'm going to go up to 100 on the Y. And so to do that in your calculator, we're going to go into this window button. And we're going to change our X minimum, that's the lowest X value, that's going to be 0. And our X max, we played with it, I'm going to just put 50. I may need to change that. My Y minimum, I'm going to make 0. My Y maximum, I'm going to make 100. And now we'll graph it and see if we see a good picture. That's not a very good picture at all. And so I'm going to go back in my window. That was way too far on the X's. And so I'm going to change this X to be like, let's just try 10. So I'm just going to toy with a little bit and just see what works. Okay, so we can see it, but we can't see the intersection quite yet. So I need to go a little bit higher than 100, and I don't need to go quite as far as 10 even. And so I'm going to go, let's go 5 and change this to 200. Now I can see the intersection point, but I may go a little bit higher just to see a little bit more of it. There it is right there. And so I'll kind of, so those 250 and 5. And I'll just kind of sketch some graphs. And so my red graph was my service palace. And so it's going to be something like this. So this one is my service palace, and this one is my owls. And then to find where they intersect, we're gonna go to second. And so you can see what I'm doing. I'm gonna go second trace, which is calculate. And I wanna find where they intersect. I'm gonna press enter and then press enter 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and there's my answer right there, 3, 185. So this point right here is at 3, 185. All right, so it says if Kate's car repair takes less than 3 hours, she should go with Al's. And so Al's less than 3 hours is more expensive, so I'd say nope. If Kate's car repair takes less than 3 hours, she should go with Service Palace. That seems pretty good. Let's just check the rest. If Kate's car repair takes more than 3 hours, she should go with Service Palace. Nope, Service is more expensive. Al's Auto is just cheaper no matter how long it takes to fix. That's not correct. So B is the right answer. All right, number 6. It says solve with substitution or elimination. Since there's no ones, I think elimination is going to be the easier route. And so 2 and 4 both go up to 4. 3 and 2 go up to 6. I'm going to make it go up to 4 because that'll be easier. And so I'm going to multiply this top equation by -2. And so I'll come out over here. And so we're going to have -4x minus 6y is equal to -20. Now I'll rewrite the other one. 4x plus 2y is equal to 4. I'm going to add these two together. Those are eliminated. -4y is equal to -16. And then we'll divide by -4, and y is equal to 4. And then to find the x value, we'll plug it in. It doesn't matter which one. I'm going to choose this one. And so 4x plus 2 times 4 is equal to 4. 4x plus 2 times 4 is 8 is equal to 4. Then we'll subtract the 8 over. 4x equals -4. And then lastly, we'll divide by 4, so x equals -1. On number 7, this one's going to be easier substitution because I already have the y by itself right here. So this box right here represents the y. And so we're going to take this box and plug it into the other equation. So I'll rewrite this over here. -10x plus 2y is equal to 14. And we're going to plug in this box in for the y. And so -10x plus 2 times 3x plus 5 is equal to 14, and we'll distribute this 2. So that becomes 6x plus 10. And then we'll combine like terms, so it's -4x plus 10 is equal to 14. We'll subtract 10. So -4x is equal to 4, and then we'll divide by -4, so x equals -1. Then we'll take that -1, and I'll put it into this x right here. And so y equals 3 times -1 plus 5. Y equals -3 plus 5, and -3 plus 5 is 2. Number 8, solve by graphing. And so y equals 2x minus 3. This is my y-intercept. That's my b, and this is my m. So we're going to start at -3. And then my slope tells me to go up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. And then for the next one, we're going to start at 2. We're going to go down 3, right 1, down 3, right 1. So here's the intersection point right here at 1, -1. All right, a linear system is a set of 2 linear equations. Does the point 0, 4 make each equation true, either equation true? And so for the first one, if I plug in 4 for the y, 4 for the y, and -2 times 0 for the x, does 4 equal 0? Nope. Now let's try the other one. If I plug in 4 for my y and 0 for my x, does 4 equal 3? No. Does 2, 5 make either equation true? And so for this one, my x is 2 and my y is 5, so we're going to plug in 5 is equal to -2 times 2. 5 is equal to -4. Nope, that's not true. Then for my other equation, 5 is equal to 2 plus 3. 5 is equal to 5. Yes. It works in the second equation. And then negative 1, 2, we'll plug in this is my x, as my y. So my y of 2 is equal to negative 2 times negative 1. So 2 is equal to, that becomes positive 2, check. Now we'll try the other one. 2 is equal to negative 1 plus 3. 2 is equal to, that becomes 2. Yes, it works in both. So if a point works in both equations of a linear system, then that point must be the solution to the linear system. When you solve a linear system, you find that one point makes both equations true. What point is the solution to the system above? The one that worked in both, which is negative 1, 2. Plot both equations in the same coordinate plane below. So y equals negative 2x. There's nothing out here, so that's like a plus 0. We're going to start at the origin at 0. My slope tells me to go down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1, or up 2, left 1 as well. And then my other one starts at 3. And goes up 1, right 1, because my slope is 1. Up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1, or down 1, left 1. So here's the intersection point, which is negative 1, 2. At what point do the two lines intersect? Oh, negative 1, 2. Compare this with your answer for number 4. Negative 1, 2, negative 1, 2. They're the same. An ordered pair that makes a linear equation true is called a solution. The point that the two lines intersect is the solution to the system. To solve a system of linear equations, the ordered pair must work for both equations. All right, so this doesn't give a whole lot of space. You may need some extra paper, but we have x plus y is equal to 3. And so to solve by graphing, I want to move the x over to get the y by itself. I want to solve for the y. So y equals negative x plus 3. So we're going to start at 3, 1, 2, 3. And my slope is negative 1, so down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. Then for my other one, 3x plus 2y is equal to 14. We'll subtract 3x. So 2y equals negative 3x plus 14. And then we'll divide everything by 2. So y equals negative 3 over 2x plus 7. So we're going to start at 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And go down 3, right 2. Whoops. Down 3, right 2. Down 3, 1, 2, 3, right 2. All right. And we need to too. It's kind of hard to see in the graph. I'm going to go ahead and if you press zoom 6, it goes back to our normal window. But I'm going to go ahead and graph these in my calculator because it's kind of hard to see on the paper. We have negative x plus 3, and we had negative 3 halves. Oops, I'll do the fraction. Negative 3 halves x plus 7. Then I can click second, trace 5, enter, 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 and that's where they intersect. 8, negative 5. Yeah. All right. On this one, x plus 2y is equal to 6. We'll subtract x. 2y equals negative x plus 6. Divide by 2. y equals negative 1/2 x plus 3. And so we'll start at 3, 1, 2, 3, and go down 1, right 2, down 1, right 2, down 1, right 2. And from another one, x equals 4. And so that's just 1, 2, 3, 4, where x equals 4. And it's that vertical line where x equals 4. So for this one, they intersect, it looks like 4, 1. There's not a whole lot of room in here, so you may need some paper, but we'll solve with substitution. So this one, y is already equal to this right here, so we're going to plug that into the other equation. So 4x minus 3 times 7x plus 6 is equal to 16. And we'll distribute this negative 3. Make sure it is a negative 3, so 4x minus 21x minus 18 is equal to 16. We'll combine those to be negative 17x minus 18 is equal to 16. And then we'll add the 18 over, which gets negative 17x is equal to 34. And then when we divide by negative 17, you get x is equal to negative 2. And then we'll plug in that negative 2 to find the y. And so y is equal to 7 times negative 2 plus 6. So y equals, that's negative 14 plus 6. And we can plug that in our calculator to get negative 8. On this one, the x is the one with a 1 in front, and so we're going to solve for that x. So we'll add the 7y over. And then we're going to plug that into the other equation. And so 2 times 7y minus 21 minus 14y is equal to negative 42. We'll distribute that 2, so you get 14y minus 42 minus 14y is equal to negative 42. So this is one of the special cases. The 14y's end up canceling out because you have 14y minus 14y. So that's 0 minus 42 equals negative 42. Then we'll add 42 to get 0 equals 0, which is a true solution. And so this is infinitely many solutions, so all real numbers. All right, the next one, this x on bottom is going to be the easiest to solve because it's a 1 in front, so we'll add the 4y over. So x equals 4y plus 12. So we're going to plug this box in for x on the other equation, so 3 times 4y plus 12, that's my x. Minus 5y is equal to 15. We'll distribute this 3, 12y plus 36 minus 5y equals 15. We'll combine my y's together, and so 7y plus 36 is equal to 15. And then we'll subtract 36 over, which if you do 15 minus 36, you get negative 21. So 7y equals negative 21, and then we'll divide by 7, and so y equals negative 3. So then we'll plug in that negative 3 into this box right here. So x equals 4 times negative 3 plus 12. So 4 times negative 3 is negative 12 plus 12. X equals 0. On this one, we already have y is equal to negative 5. And so we can go ahead and put that in the y value. And now to find the x, we'll just plug that into the y. So 8x plus 5 times negative 5 is equal to negative 17. So 8x, that becomes negative 25 equals negative 17. We'll add 25 over. So 8x is equal to, that's 8, and divide by 8 to get x is equal to 1. All right, then my last 4. Now we'll solve with elimination. So on this one, x's are the same number, but not the opposite sign. So we're going to multiply, we'll multiply this bottom one by negative 1. It's just going to change all the signs. So the top one's going to stay the same, x minus y equals negative 10. But the bottom one, we're going to change all the signs. Negative x plus 6y is equal to positive 25. So the x's are gone. That becomes 5y, and 25 minus 10 is 15. So y is equal to 3 by dividing by 5. Then we'll take that 3, it doesn't matter which one. I'm going to do the top equation. X minus 3 equals negative 10. We'll add 3 over, and so x equals negative 7. On this one, the y's are already opposite signs and the same number, so we can go ahead and add them together. So 2 plus 8 is 10x. The y's are gone, is equal to, let's see, it's hard to read it. 0 carry 1, that's going to be 50. Divide by 10, x equals 5. And so then I'll plug into the top equation. So 2 times 5 plus 2y is equal to 28. And so 10 plus 2y equals 28. We'll subtract 10 over. 2y equals 18. And then we'll divide by 2 to get y equals 9. On this one, we can either multiply this x by 3 to get up to 3, or multiply this by 3 to get up to 6. So either way, we're just going to multiply this bottom equation by negative 3. And so the top equation stays the same, 3x plus 6y equals 27. But on the bottom, we multiply by negative 3. We get negative 3x minus 6y is equal to negative 33. So this is one of those special cases where my x's are gone, my y's are gone. So we have 0, because it's all gone. And on here, we've got negative 6. And so we'll see, is this a true statement? Does 0 equal negative 6? Nope, so this one's no solution. And my last one, I think that's a 7 right there. I'm having trouble reading it. All right, so we can either make 4 and 7 go up to 28, or 5 and 3 go up to 15. 15 is a little bit smaller, so I'm going to multiply this one by 3 and this one by 5. So multiplying by 3, we get 12x plus 15y is equal to 66. Multiplying by 5, we get 35x minus 15y is equal to, let's see, that's a negative 32. So negative 32 times 5 is going to be negative 160. So the y's are gone. That becomes 47x is equal to negative 94. And then we'll divide by 47 to get x equals negative 2. And we'll take that negative 2, plug it into one of these. I'll do the top equation. And so 4 times negative 2 plus 5y is equal to 22. That becomes negative 8 plus 5y equals 22. We'll add the 8 over to get 5y equals 30, and divide by 5 to get y equals 6. All right, and that completes our review. And so hopefully you're ready for this test. Let me know if you have any questions.